Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like marshmallows are magic that we can all eat. And they only get better when you make them from scratch. So today, I am giving marshmallows a holiday twist by flavoring them with apples and cinnamon. And then I'm using them in my amazing, delicious winter s'mores recipe that I have created for Cameron because his family loves s'mores so much.
This is over the top, Deb.
I'm doing it for you and your family.
S'mores, wintertime, and homemade marshmallows. This is pretty amazing.
So good.
You've got some apples. You mentioned apples.
I do. Okay, so
you've got them cooking on the stove.
I'm starting over here, some butter, some cinnamon, and some beautiful apples that I'm just cooking, you know, almost like you'd be making apple pie. So I'm using Envy apples, by the way. There are lots of different varieties of apples, but I love using Envy apples because they have a beautifully balanced sweetness that comes through in the marshmallow recipe that I'm going to be making. And while they're delicious to cook with and to bake with, they're also just really great to snack on, as I see you have already.
Kidding. By the way, you can't have apples out in front of me and not have me dive in already. These are delicious.
It's such a nice snack, right?
Really,
so
really
they're really beautiful and sweet. They're just a perfect crispness. So I have my apples over here that I have been cooking. Now I need to make my beautiful syrup.
Marshmallow.
Right, my syrup mixture that's going to turn into my marshmallows.
What do we start with?
So we start with some water, then some sugar, and then some corn syrup. Now, you want this to come together, and you really want it to start to bubble and boil at about 240 degrees.
Okay.
So that's going to take a minute, but once it gets there, you don't want it to go any higher than 244 because 240 is the softball stage. If you get to 244, you're going to start heading into actual hardball. So you really don't want to do that because you're going to be making candy. And if you can see right here, the one in front of me, we've already started earlier. And right now,
look at that.
It's about at 220, so it's going to get up to 240 pretty quickly.
What about the gelatin? Where does that come into play here?
Well, the gelatin has been, as I've been making the apples and my syrup over here, the gelatin has been blooming. It's super important to bloom your gelatin in cold water and then put it in your stand mixer.
Very good.
Because if the gelatin has to go in first and it has to bloom for about 10 or 15 minutes and it begins to look like this.
Gotcha.
That's what bloom gelatin looks like, okay? So we put that in the stand mixer, then we slowly add after our syrup has gotten to 240. Don't go any higher than that, really.
Bubbling like crazy.
Exactly. You start to slowly pour that into your stand mixer with the gelatin. Now, at first, it's totally clear, and you're thinking, how is this going to turn into?
I was going to ask you. That looks nothing like what the two things that you're putting in. It's like a science experiment.
It is. Actually, it is a science experiment. Making candy is very scientific. So basically, after about 10 to 15 minutes, it turns into this.
Got you.
So the reason it becomes opaque is because of all the air actually incorporating into that.
10 to 15 minutes, to me, seems like a long time to whip it, but I guess in the grand scheme of things,
it's a long time. It's also like, you know, it's close to sort of making meringue. Okay,
so you've got the apples and there's some cinnamon in there?
Apples, cinnamon, butter. So now, after we've gotten our marshmallow mixture together, we add the star of the show.
Deb, you are
what's going to make my s'mores even more delicious than
This is crazy.
usual.
So now do you mix that together or do you sort of fold it in?
Well, you could do either one. Right now, I am going to just use our stand mixer because it's here and it's easy. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at the cinnamon. Isn't
I can smell it from over here, by the way. Like the apples and cinnamon together with the sweetness of the marshmallow is pretty incredible.
Okay,
all right, so now you're gonna put it into this this pan. So what's on the bottom there?
Okay, so I have my beautiful glass Pyrex here. You can use anything. A sheet pan's fine. And what I'm gonna do is I've put some powdered sugar down on the bottom of the pan. You could use parchment paper as well, and then put the powdered sugar down. And I'm gonna pour my beautiful marshmallows.
I'm just gonna watch that. That's literally like, that should be like a
commercial
meditation. You know what I mean? Like where they just have a video of you pouring like homemade marshmallow into a dish like that.
That is really beautiful.
It looks amazing.
I mean, I just kind of want to eat it like this, but
you
can't. Otherwise, it's not gonna be marshmallows. This is more like marshmallow fluff, you know? So you get this in the Pyrex. Then
you have to put it, like, what do you do next? Does it have to go in the fridge? Do you leave it, like, what's the next step for that?
My mouth is watering, you guys. This is really good. All right, so now you put some more powdered sugar on top. We make it snow just like this. And then we put this on, leave this on the counter for about 12 hours, or overnight is really better. Or you could put it in the fridge, whatever you want to do.
24 hours?
24 hours, yeah.
So it kind of comes together a little bit?
That's when it starts to congeal and when the gelatin actually, you know, starts to come into play.
Yes.
You take it out of the fridge or off your counter.
I'm back in like a high school science class. This is amazing. And then you cut it into squares.
My science teacher would be so impressed. She'd be like, whoa, you weren't that good in my class. Okay, so then You cut it into these beautiful squares, and look at this. Look at that, isn't that so beautiful? And now they are ready to go into my delicious s'mores.
Yeah, so you got to tell me about these winter s'mores. What else are you putting in there? And I love the fact that you know every ingredient of these marshmallows.
That's
you can
right.
pronounce each one of them, which is impressive.
Right, because you make marshmallows at home and you know what's in them. There's no added anything that perhaps wouldn't be so good for you.
My kids love s'mores. This is going to take it over the top. What else do you have in there? You have the amazing marshmallows.
You're going to love them even s'more now. Okay, so I have my amazing marshmallows, my yummy apple cinnamon marshmallows. I have butterscotch chips, and of course, just regular graham crackers.
And you took them out of the oven, so how long were they in there for? What did you do?
Oh, they don't have to go in too long. You just want them to, just a few minutes, really. You just want it to come together. 3-4 minutes.
So
What do you
many
think?
flavors. It's like a huge flavor party happening right there. Oh my gosh, Deb, these are crazy.
Oh, the marshmallows
They're so
are great.
good.
I love them great like this.
Can you pass me another one? I'm going to make a little stash for the kids. I'm going to bring them.
It's all you.
There we go.
Take
It's
them
all
all.
me? Okay, all right,
It's
great.
all you.
All right, all for the Mathesons. I love
Bring
it.
the napkin back. I think our kitchen staff might be upset
Don't
if you
tell them, don't tell them.
You will make sure to visit us at homeworkchannel.com for this recipe and check out our Facebook page and website for an extra special Envy Apple recipe that Cameron and I are going to prepare for all of your holiday entertaining.
So gooey and good. Oh my